Hey book besties, I'm April, and welcome to No Shelf Control, the podcast for readers who choose books based on vibes, skip sleep for just one more chapter, and never quite stick to the TBR. If you're into twisty thrillers, nostalgic favorites, emotional roller coasters, and a little bookish chaos, you'll feel right at home here. Each week, I'll be diving into the reads we love, the ones that left us shook, and everything in between. So grab your coffee, your Kindle, and come hang with me. Hey book besties, I'm your host April, and welcome to the very first episode of No Shelf Control, a podcast for the chaotic mood reader, like me. Hi everyone, I'm a Bookstagrammer, a toddler mom, a podcast newbie, and a book-obsessed human. I know some of you can relate. I'm so excited and a little nervous to be recording this. If you're listening, thank you so much, and I really hope you enjoy it. So, on social media, I'm the person behind Books with April, where I have found quite the community on Book Talk and Instagram. I'm a mood reader through and through. One week it's dark thrillers, the next week it's a romance, and maybe a historical fiction. There's really no rhyme or reason, it's just what I feel like reading at that time. I live in Massachusetts. I'm a mom to a 2-year-old, and I am also a real estate agent as my full-time job. But my passion is reading. I love to read, and it is something that really didn't happen until later in life. I really wasn't a big reader in school, but now I can't go without. I don't even want to go a day without reading. I also run a book club. We will talk about that in another episode, but it's called Pairs Well with Wine Book Club. I started it in 2022 with one of my best friends, and it has flourished into something that I could never have imagined. So many friends, so many books, so many fun times. So a little bit about my reading story and how that all ties in here. So I love to read, as we've already established, but it was something deeper that I enjoyed just before I had my son. And then once I went through postpartum, it hit me hard. If you're a mom or if you know any moms that have gone through this, you understand. Reading helped me reconnect with myself, figure out who I was aside from just a mom. No one is just a mom. There are so many other layers to every single person, and I felt like I forgot who I was. I had one priority, which was my child and really my family, but I never really prioritized myself. So to get back into things, it became a way to unwind, escape, and feel like me again. Books have seen me through hard seasons, slow seasons, and everything in between. And as time has gone on, over the past couple of years since I had my son, my book club has grown. There are so many amazing people in my book club now. I have read so many different types of books. I have built a community on social media. I have connected with so many other readers across the world, including authors, and it all really led up to today with my new podcast. So why I started this podcast, how about we talk about that? So we know, I love to talk about books. We know this. But captions and 60-second TikToks just don't feel like enough when I have a lot to say. I wanted a space, a safe space, to slow down, talk it out, and build a little cozy corner, my little book nook corner, bring you into this, and just have some space to have some bookish chats. I kept hearing from other readers, same. I thought I was the only one who felt that way, and that's how I knew this needed to exist. So here we are. Whether you read 4 books a year, 40 books a year, 400 books a year, I want this podcast to feel like a conversation with a book bestie. Think of it as FaceTime. We're going to have a little FaceTime conversation. So what can you expect from this podcast? Well, there's going to be a lot of different things that you can expect, but an overall view of what we can expect. So one of the things I will have is a monthly reading wrap-up where I will name all of the books that I have read, give you my ratings, no spoilers. Absolutely no spoilers. I never want to ruin it for anyone. But I will talk about what I've read, what I liked, what I didn't like, what wasn't for me, and what I absolutely could not put down. Bookish hot takes, spicy opinions, no genre is safe, childhood favorites and nostalgic book talk, the absolute chaos of mood reading, If you're a mood reader like me, I know you know what I'm talking about. DNFing a book, binge reading, genre hopping. The list goes on. Being a mood reader is really tough. I wish I could just have a stack of books and say, this is my TBR for this month, and I would read every single one in order. I have tried. It does not work. My TBR is just never ending, and I pull from the middle. It's like a game of Jenga. It's just whatever I feel like doing at that time, whatever I feel like reading, that's what I'm going to read. I can't be told to read a book. I just can't tell myself what book to read. It needs to be something I feel. We'll talk about pairing books with music, moods, and vibes. We'll have some guest episodes in the future, maybe some book club members, friends, and maybe even some authors. You'll get a behind the scenes look at my book club, content creation, and my reading routines. So make sure that you don't forget to subscribe. We're live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So excited. Let's be friends on social media. Follow No Shelf Control Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. And I also have my own personal Bookstagram, books_with_April, on both TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so like I said earlier, once a month, I'm going to talk about the books I read in the previous month. So since it's the beginning of August, I'll go through the books that I read in July. So in July, I read 7 books, and that is a personal record of mine. Usually maybe 4 or 5 books, but I did really well, and I had a few that were quick reads. So let's dive in, and maybe you'll get some book recommendations out of this. So the first book, I actually was approached by an author on TikTok. Her name is Julia Emma, and she was talking to me about her new debut novel. And so I downloaded it on Kindle. Thank you so much, Julia, for the copy. It was called The Unraveling of Her. So I rated this book 4.5 stars out of 5. This book is about a character named Allison. She has been hurt her whole life, so she lives by one simple rule: don't get close. But when her world unravels, she's forced to confront a past full of violence and betrayal, and the secrets that won't stay buried. It's a gripping psychological thriller about one woman's fight to stop disappearing. When I tell you that this book was so good, I truly couldn't put it down. I read it in one sitting. One. From the very first page, I was pulled into her story and found myself completely wrapped up in the twists, turns, and emotional unraveling. This is one of those psychological thrillers that keeps you questioning everything until the end. And as we spoke about this earlier, if you know anything about me, that is what I love. That is what I need. So again, huge thank you to Julia for sending me a copy of her debut. It's so exciting to discover a new voice, a new author, and I can't wait to see what else she has to come out with, because this being her debut, she set the bar kind of high. So the next book is by one of my favorite authors. I read The Tenant by Frida McFadden. Again, these are spoiler free. I'll just do a casual little description and my thoughts, no spoilers. But I rated this one 5 out of 5. I mean, Frida never misses. There's definitely been a few books that I've read of hers that weren't as good as some. You know, you got to have some to contend with. But this one, it's a fast-paced psychological thriller full of secrets and twists. When a young woman moves into a seemingly perfect apartment, she starts to uncover disturbing truths about the building and its landlord. As the lies unravel, nothing is as it seems. This book, in general, Frida McFadden as an author, I've never had anything by her that I did not enjoy, but this one was like takes the cake as the top contender right now. And I will say I read The Boyfriend. I don't know if anybody else has read The Boyfriend, but that one was my top for a little while until this one came along. That's just my opinion. So it had me hooked from the very first page, as always with Frida's books. The story was packed with twists and layers that all come together so perfectly in the end. It kept me guessing the entire time and completely delivered on the suspense. Like I said, that's what I want. So, again, 5 out of 5, highly recommend. The next book I read in July, unfortunately, okay, I have to preface this. So many people recommended this book. So many people loved this book. And not every book is for every person. I stand by that. And for that reason, I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. It just was not for me, but it might be for you. So this one, don't come for me. The Wedding People by Alison Espach. If I'm saying her name wrong, I apologize. So again, this is something that was recommended to me by so many people, and it was actually picked in my book club for July's book. So I was really excited to read it and talk about it with all of my book club members. Quick little description on this one. This one follows a character named Phoebe who checks into a fancy Newport hotel, planning a final splurge before ending her life. But a chance mix-up lands her in the middle of a lavish wedding, sparking unexpected connections. What starts as a self-destructive plan turns into a messy, heartfelt weekend where friendship and healing sneak in between all of the chaos of the Wedding People. So, like I said, please don't come for me. It just was not, it didn't live up to the hype for me. I've actually tried picking it up a couple of times, and it just so happened that our book club picked it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to read it. This is going to be great. And I ended up feeling like I was just skimming it because I just could not get pulled into the story or the characters. I just couldn't connect. It felt a little bit too unrealistic for me, which made it even harder for me to understand and connect to. But I really wanted to love it. And the Goodreads rating on this is fantastic as well. But again, I stand by this. It was not for me, and it's okay if you read a book and it's not for you. It doesn't mean it's a bad book. I'm sure this is a wonderful book. I just didn't connect to it. It was not for me. I did read the whole thing. I didn't DNF it. I have a hard time doing that because I feel like sometimes it takes a while to get into a book, but this one I just didn't enjoy as much as I thought I was going to. The next book I read was The Business Trip by Jessie Garcia. This one I picked up at a local bookstore, and I just picked it up, read the description, and said, okay, I'll read this one. This one sounds good. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, it might sound like I rate my books really high a lot, but I don't. I don't always rate them high. I've just had a really good run lately with majority 4 or 5 stars. So this one is about 2 girls, Stephanie and Jasmine. They are strangers, and they're on the same flight, each with their own reasons for leaving home. When they began sending eerily similar messages about the same man, and they both go missing, alarm bells go off. The Business Trip is a gripping psychological thriller filled with twists, secrets, and a dangerous game of manipulation. This one, again, another one had me hooked from the start. I had no idea where it was going. It was one of those books that I truly did not know what was happening until it completely finished. It was so twisty, it threw me. And we all know I love a psychological thriller like that, but this one delivered. So I highly recommend this one. The next book I read was The 4 Engagement Rings of Sybil Rain by Hannah Brown. Okay, any Bachelorette fans out there? Hannah Brown, love her. She's somebody I followed all through the Bachelor franchise and beyond. I've always kept up with her on social media. I did not read her first book, but I picked this one up. It's one of those books, it's not really a series. You don't have to read the first one first. So I decided, hey, I'll pick this one up and read it. And if I like it, maybe I'll read the first one. Well, I'll be reading the first one. This one I rated 4 out of 5 stars. So this book is a witty, heartfelt rom-com about a woman with 3 failed engagements who escapes to Hawaii to reset her life. But when 2 of her exes show up at the same resort, chaos and maybe some closure ensues. It's a story of second chances, self-discovery, and finding the courage to love again. This book is just so good. It was such a cute, light-hearted rom-com with just the right amount of emotional depth. I truly enjoyed this book, and I loved watching Sybil's character grow as she navigated the messy intersections of her past and present relationships. It was entertaining, but also very messy. Without giving anything away, her journey tugged at my heartstrings in all the best ways, and I was so satisfied with how everything came together in the end. Definitely go pick this one up. Okay, my 6th book, 6 out of 7. So my 6th book this month was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, a historical fiction. I have no words. This one, 2 million out of 10. Amazing. Absolutely, may even be my favorite book of all time. I highly recommend. 5 out of 5, but really 2 million out of 5. So this is a heartfelt, high-stakes romance set in the early 1980s during NASA's Space Shuttle program. It follows Joan Goodwin, a physicist turned Capcom in mission control, who ends up falling in love with fellow astronaut Vanessa while navigating professional pressure, secrecy, and personal sacrifice. The book blends spaceflight drama with emotional intimacy and identity, capturing the courage it takes to love and belong even in the most rigid institutions. Okay. Honestly, it was unlike anything I have ever read. She absolutely nailed it with this one. She is Taylor Jenkins Reid. There were so many layers to the story, and every single one of them hit me right in the heart. Joan and Vanessa's connection was emotional, powerful, and so beautifully written. Between the tension of the NASA setting and the deeply personal moments, I felt totally wrapped up in this story. Go read the book. Go get the book. Go get it on your Kindle, your Nook, go to the library, go to the store, go to Amazon, Walmart, go get it. I don't really know what else to say other than this is a demand. You need to go get this book. It is so good. And I already lent it to 2 people and I just finished it. Okay, the last book that I read in July was Someone Knows by V. Keeland. This book, another one, 5 out of 5. This was a thriller. It was so good. My July was thriller heavy. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. So this is another twisty psychological thriller about a creative writing professor whose dark past comes to haunt her when a student submits a story that sounds just a little too familiar. As buried secrets resurface, she's forced to confront everything she thought she left behind. Suspenseful, emotional, and full of surprises. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. This book was so good. If you know me even a little, you know what I'm going to say. It's what I need. I need a twisty thriller that's going to leave me on the edge until the end. It's just how it goes. But this book had my jaw on the floor more than once. I actually was gasping out loud and second-guessing everything I thought I knew. It's suspenseful, smart, and packed with shocking moments that kept me turning the pages like a maniac. So freaking good. So those were the 7 books that I read in July. Usually it's only 4 or 5, so I feel like I was talking for a while about books, but I hope if you like those genres that I listed off, again, I read romance, I read thrillers, and I read historical fiction. Please take my recommendations. They are so good, in my opinion. Again, everyone has a different opinion, and it's okay if a book doesn't vibe with you. It doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just means it wasn't for you. So, to start August, the book I am reading is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I just started it a few days ago, so this one will be finished very soon. And if you follow my Bookstagram account or my Book Talk account, that is where I usually review all of my books. So my full reviews are there. So I encourage you to follow along if you want to keep up with what I've been reading. But of course, on the first episode of the month, I will always recap what I read the previous month. So even if you don't follow along on Instagram, you're still going to hear about it. I'd love to know if any of you have read any of these books. Please no spoilers on this one because I may see the message before I finish. I don't want to see that. But I'd love to know if anybody takes the recommendations, if you like them, if you don't like them. However it goes, I would love to hear from all of you. Do you want to be part of the show? I have a Google form for that. You can fill it out, send me your book recommendations, your hot takes, your reading confessions, or anything you'd like me to talk about. It can be anonymous if you so choose, but if you share your name and you want me to, I will announce it on the show. It's in my Linktree and in my bio. I'll put it in the show notes. You'll be able to access it everywhere. So just a quick thank you to everyone who has listened today or watched along on YouTube. I have been so nervous, but so excited to start this podcast. It is something, again, that I really wanted to do for quite a while. Reading is a passion of mine, but the podcast, it was something that I was a little hesitant about only because it's just me. You're just listening to me or you're just watching me. I don't have a partner that I'm doing this with. This is just a space for me. And yes, I'll have guests from time to time, but do people want to listen to me? That's all that kept running through my head. Then I said, you know what? Just do it. Have fun with it. This, again, is just for fun. If it turns into something bigger, great. If it doesn't, this is my outlet. This is my safe space. This is where I want to be. So thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to see where this podcast goes. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow along on social media. Thanks for hanging out today, Book Besties. Talk soon, and don't forget, no shelf control is highly encouraged. Bye!